Bobbie Rebell, you interviewed a number of business and investing celebrities for your book, How to Be a Financial Grown-Up. But before we talk about them, let's talk about you. When did you know you were a financial grown-up?
I think the real moment, Greg, was when I decided to buy real estate, which is really scary, as you know, here in New York City. I was 23 years old, but I had enough money for a down payment. I did the math, and I decided to take the plunge. And that move was pivotal in my financial stability through my life, because I was able to live there, eventually sell it, buy a new one, sell it, and so on, and flip my way up to a family-size apartment where I live right now, right here in New York City. So it really paid off making that early decision and committing. But I had to run the numbers, and it was pretty scary because, you know, real estate can go either way.
And one of the people you interview for your book is Ivanka Trump.
Yes.
And you talk about the fact that she became a financial grown-up, in her words, when she wasn't allowed to fly first class. Tell me about this story.
Well,
this is an interesting story.
Okay, well, this is the premise of the book. Let me just explain to the viewers, is that I asked each person, what was your financial grown-up moment and what's the lesson to share? So they were just given that, and they could take it any direction they want. So what Ivanka shared is that, yes, she was traveling with her mother, not her father in this case, with her mother and her brothers, and her mother had a ticket for first class, and she had a ticket for economy, and she was about 14 years old and basically threw a fit and said, "This is not fair, I want to be in first class." And her mother basically said, "You need to earn it yourself." And I think she's done an amazing job setting up her brand. The Ivanka Trump brand is a very successful retail brand, and she has her own book coming out, in fact. So I think she's an example to a lot of working women that whether you have money to start with or not, it's up to you to create your own identity separate from your parents and earn your own money, and then you can decide to go first class, or maybe not. Maybe you save your money.
And money is a necessary evil. At least that's what Jim Cramer says in your book. You profiled our very own Jim Cramer for your book. And his financial coming-of-age moment came when he lost everything, when he was a reporter out in L.A.
Yes, this was stunning, because Jim was recommended to me by a mutual friend, because I didn't know this story. I just think of Jim Cramer as this incredibly successful, brilliant person that gives incredible advice. Jim actually really is beyond self-made. I mean, he was at the very, very bottom. You can't be any lower. He was homeless. He was living in his car. He talks about drinking too much. I mean, this is kind of, I've been told this is kind of an R-rated book. There's some big stories in here that will surprise people when they hear what people came from. But at that moment, he realized that it is about the money, because without the money, you don't have freedom. Not just financial freedom. You don't have freedom to do anything you want to do. And that extreme poverty was a wake-up call for him and his financial grown-up moment to get it together and never be worried about money again. And we see the evidence of that in his success.
And for Drew Barrymore, she became a financial grown-up when she turned down money. Why don't you explain this story?
Well, she took the long strategy. She's their youngest role model, by the way. At age 7 years old is when this story occurred. She had finished ET. So many offers were coming her way. There was so much at stake. But Steven Spielberg told her to be very careful and really choose carefully and maybe delay taking these endorsements, etc., and holding on to what we've now started to call her personal brand. It's really paid off. If you know anything about Drew Barrymore, she's had incredible business success beyond her acting. She's in control of her own films. She's got Flower Films. She also has a number of other businesses. She has a wine business, and she has an incredibly successful makeup line at Walmart. This is all tied to her maintaining control, not selling out at a young age, and really being true to herself and knowing her value.
And then finally, how do you know when one of these moments is happening to you? Because a lot of the people in your book, they're successful now, but they were thinking about it when it happened to them much earlier in their lives. How do you know when you're going through one of these moments where you become a financial adult?
I think it's an individual thing, first of all, Greg, but I think it's about that pit in your stomach where you know, wow, I got to start paying attention. This is serious, there's a lot at stake, and it's time to grow up. It's different for anyone. Sometimes you don't realize it until hindsight. A lot of people really had to think back. I interviewed them and really talked about their life and the different things that shaped where they are today as people and as financial adults, because it is different for anyone. But when you look back, it becomes quite obvious what it was.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Bobbie. Good luck with the book. And thank you for watching The Street.